What's up? How are you? Let's give it 10 more seconds. It's going live right now on YouTube, but I'm really excited to talk about this today. What's up? There we go. It's on YouTube now. Okay, beautiful. So, hey, YouTube. Hey, Instagram. Hey, guys. So, quick introduction, really quick. My name is Krista Tyus. I am an enrolled agent by the Internal Revenue Service, and I help tax and accounting professionals increase your skills and grow multiple six-figure firms. So I'm really excited because honestly, for the past couple of months, I would say probably the majority of this year has been spent, really teaching tax and accounting, right? I spent from April till now, right? April, May, June, July, August, September, October, and we still have classes in November and December. So I'm spending 9 months out of the year now teaching tax law, helping people become enrolled agents, helping people learn tax preparation, right? We have a business tax preparation class coming up in Atlanta. If you can't join the Atlanta one, go ahead and register for the virtual training. We have an individual tax preparation class coming up, right? So, and then we're currently in our Enroll Agent University training. So I've been spending a lot of time on teaching the skills, and I'm really excited to get back into teaching marketing, right? And I've been trying to find like a balance. Like, how do I teach both at the same time? Like, how do I also teach you guys, how you can become enrolled agents, but I also need to teach you guys how to make money. Okay. You need to know how to make money, right? This is the whole point on why you're learning tax and accounting, right? You learn bookkeeping, you learn tax preparation, you learn tax resolution and tax planning so that you can go out and make and earn money. Okay. Put some dollar sign emojis in the chat if you feel me on this. Okay. So, what do I mean by marketing season? Well, if you look at tax and accounting professionals as a whole, we make the majority of our revenue within the first and second quarter of every single year, right? Of every single year. And what's interesting, you can go to Intuit to test this theory out, right? Go to Intuit, which is a publicly traded company. They are one of the largest tax and accounting, I would say companies, right, that specialize within this space, right? Both for professionals, but they also specialize B2B and B2C, right? They have TurboTax, which helps millions of people self-file their taxes, both individuals and businesses. You have QuickBooks, right, which helps millions of businesses keep up with their bookkeeping. They have Mint, which is an individual, personal budget. It's kind of like the QuickBooks, but for individuals, right? So when you look at, and they have tax and accounting software, right, for you and I. So when you look at this company Intuit, the majority of their income comes within the first and second quarter of the year, right? Rightfully so, which is tax season, okay? There's a lot of people that are looking to file their taxes, right? Because they have that filing requirement. But then there's a lot of companies that are looking to get caught up on their bookkeeping. They're looking to do tax planning. They're looking to plan and set their budget for the year. So the first and second quarter is really important for our industry as tax and accounting professionals, right? And what breaks my heart is when I see tax and accounting professionals starting marketing in January or starting their marketing in February, in March, in April. And I will humbly tell you that that is not the most efficient way. It's not the most optimized way if you truly want to hit your tax and accounting revenue goals, right? Type in chat, how much money do you guys want to make in 2024 just for the first and second quarter? We're not even talking about for the whole year. I just want to know, how much money do you want to make just in the first and second quarter of 2024? Go ahead. I'm going to give you guys 10 to 20 seconds because I know there's a delay with hearing me. How much do you want to make just within 16 weeks, right? Just within 120 days, right? So I see 50,000, 50,000. Okay, beautiful. Let's check YouTube. What are you guys saying over here? Let's see. Where's YouTube? Where is YouTube? I can't see YouTube. Okay, YouTube, I know you're there, but I can't see you. I don't know why I can't see you. Oh, the video is private. You know what? YouTube did me wrong. Anyway, so 50,000. All right, 75,000, 60,000. Beautiful, $100,000. Beautiful, guys. Beautiful. Thank you so much for participating. YouTube, if you type in the chat after, or if you're watching this at the replay, go ahead and still type your number in the chat, and I'm going to go back and take a look at it. So what I want you guys to understand is that whatever you put into the chat, right, whether it was 50,000 or 100,000, is that your marketing, the money that you're going to make in the first and second quarter is going to be predicated on what you are doing today in the fourth quarter, right? All of your actions, all of your marketing activities, right? How much are you posting on social media? How many people are you reaching out to on social media? How many strategy sessions are you currently having right now? Just how are you showing up, and how are you going to show up over the next 3 months, November and December, well, October, November, and December, right? In this fourth quarter. The things that you do now, guys, and the things that you're going to continue to do until the end of this year is going to heavily predict how well your first and second quarter will be. The people that you talk to right now, right? You should be having strategy sessions right now. You should be reaching out to your ideal clients right now. You should be putting yourself in the way where your ideal clients can see you. They can hear you, they can see you. And the only way to do that is to start marketing, which is why I say this is our marketing season right now. This is your time to shine. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to talk about some strategies that you're going to be able to do that. And I want to also tell you guys about a new masterclass that I have coming up. You guys know I love teaching, right? A new masterclass coming up on an asset that I want to teach you guys how to do. I've never taught this class individually in this way. In fact, the only people that has really truly learned this strategy are my mastermind members, right? And I want to kind of bring this to the masses because I think you guys are ready for it now, right? Social media and how we've been showing up and how you guys have been marketing is constantly evolving. So I want to make sure that you guys are keeping up with the current times, with how you should be putting yourself out there. So first thing, here is when I want to take you back. When I first started to use this asset, it took me a while to truly understand how to use it, how to deploy it, how to create it, and how to consistently deploy it, right? This asset has accounted for hundreds of thousands. It's actually way more than that, but I don't want to, what I want to say, I don't want to, it's not brag, but it's just, listen, this asset has accounted for, we're going to say hundreds of thousands, if not more, revenue in my business, right? I also have peers in the industry, right? And I'm going to show you some case studies over this series of me talking about marketing season. I'm going to show you some case studies that we can refer to, but you notice that all of the top, I would say, businesses, all of the top influencers, they deploy this one marketing asset. And I just want to see if you guys can just take a wild guess what it is. What is one marketing asset that gets you in front of your ideal clients, that you can spend a good amount of time nurturing your audience, building up credibility, building up know, like, and trust, and making an offer to them, and they want to buy, they want to become a client, they want to book a strategy session with you, they want to work with you? What's that one marketing asset that has this power, that has this capability? And it's a structured format. And I didn't create this asset, right? My coaches didn't create this asset. It has been around for ages. It used to be done over the telephone back in the day. People used to do it over the telephone. So this is going to be a little bit more specific. It used to be done over the telephone. Webinars. Yes, webinars. Reddick and Associates got it. Shout out to you. Type a 1 in the chat if you yourself have sat on a webinar. Type a 1 in the chat if you sat on a webinar and you made a buying decision. You decided to work with a person, right? Type a 1 in the chat. If you sat on my webinar, I have my webinars on YouTube. So when you found me on YouTube, you probably have sat through one of my webinars. This is a very strategic asset that you can create that allows you to get in front of your ideal audience, that allows you to build up know, like, and trust, that allows you to make an offer at the end where they actually see the value. It allows you to break limiting beliefs about working with you. It allows you to break misconceptions about getting the results that they're going to eventually pay you to help them achieve. When you listen to all of this, this asset is so powerful. It's not new, right? It's been reiterated upon. It's been, there's several different ways you can do a now webinar, right? You can call it a masterclass. You can call it a 3-day challenge, a 5-day challenge. You can call it a series, right? You can call it a presentation, a sales presentation. It doesn't matter what you call this thing. The whole point is it's a proven format to introduce your audience to a problem that they have or a desire that they want, to qualify them to say, hey, this is who this is for. Here's who, or here's what this strategy, or who this strategy helps, right? It helps you to position yourself as a credible expert, right? Because you're going to tell your story. You're going to let people know why you are qualified to talk about this thing or to solve this problem that they might have or to help them achieve this desire, right? It's going to walk through case studies and testimonials on other people like your client that has solved this problem or that has achieved this result. It's going to walk through a proven message to give value, right? Because it's just not a sales tool. This is a tool where you can give value to your audience, right? You walk through what I call your proven methodology. This is where you say, hey, here is how you're going to go about achieving this result or getting this desire, right? And then you're going to smoothly transition to making your offer to say, hey, if you got value from today's lesson, if this helped you in any way, if this helped you break any limiting beliefs, if it gave you more clarity where there was once confusion, right? If it gave you confidence where there was once insecurities, I want to go deeper with you. I want to help you, right? And you walk smoothly into your offer. Now, when you think about that, because you probably haven't, depending on where you guys are coming from with this, with your experience, you haven't probably heard it broken out in that way. There is so much psychological sales tricks and tactics that is weaved throughout a webinar. And this is, I would say, is ethically done, right? Because your goal is to demonstrate value. Your goal is to let your ideal clients know how you can help them make and save more money. Right. And so the webinar allows you to structure your message in a way that helps build value, that helps create know, like, and trust. OK, so I'm going to be talking about more about the importance of a webinar. We're going to be breaking down certain psychological aspects of a webinar, and we're going to be breaking down like how you can deploy this in your tax and accounting business. Right. I'm going to give you some tangible steps even right now. So, for example, how powerful would it be? Let's just say your niche, and I want you guys to type in the chat for me. What is your niche that you go after? And if you don't have a niche, what's a niche you want to go after? Go ahead and type that in the chat for me. And I want to see something. What niche are you going to go after? So I'll give you one example. One of my clients, actually several of my clients, they go after the real estate agent niche, right? How many of you guys have seen these wonderful real estate agents up and down your IG timeline? They're selling $500,000 homes. Excuse me. They're selling $500,000 homes, $1 million homes, right? And they make it look so beautiful and effortless. They showing up with their suits on and their dresses on, and the jewelry is laid out, the hair is laid out. Listen, I get inspired by looking at these real estate agents on Instagram, right? Even though I know from personal experience how tough it is and how cutthroat that industry is. But let me tell you, if you were a tax and accounting professional and you helped real estate agents with tax planning, tax prep, and bookkeeping services, right? So meaning you help them pay the least amount of taxes by way of tax planning. You help them keep track of all of their available deductions that they can claim on their tax return to help them pay the least amount of taxes, right? Bookkeeping. You help them file their tax returns, right? Their tax compliance, tax preparation. How powerful would it be if you had a webinar, right, that walked them through a proven way on how they can make and save more money in their real estate agent business? This same webinar generated value for them, but it also positioned you as an expert that built know, like, and trust with them. How powerful would it be at the end of that webinar, you had a call to action that said, hey, if you're a real estate agent that's scaling past 6 figures and you need help maximizing your tax strategy, I know you got a ton of value today, but if you want to go deeper with me and my team, click the link below to book your free strategy session with us. How powerful would it be if this same webinar, you was able to get in front of different real estate offices with this piece of asset? So here's what it looks like. I'm a tax and accounting professional. I'm an enroll agent. I'm going to go after the real estate agent niche. I'm going to create this beautiful webinar that's going to walk my ideal clients through on how they should look at their tax structure, how they can maximize their deductions, how they can keep track of all of the different moving parts of their business, mileage and depreciation, all that good stuff. And I'm going to have a beautiful call to action to say, hey, you got value from this and you need to dig deeper. Click the link within this presentation for your free real estate agent tax strategy session. I now have this asset that I'm going to call, or I'm going to email every real estate brokerage office within a 10 to 50 mile radius. And I'm going to offer them, and I'm going to say, hey, Mr. Broker, so good to get you on the phone. Listen, I know you weren't expecting my call, but I have a free presentation that I would love to go over with your team on how they can maximize their tax strategy before the end of 2023. If you look at each brokerage probably has anywhere between 10 and 100 agents, right? I can call RE/MAX Elite. I can call RE/MAX Platinum. Just within the RE/MAX brand, you're going to have dozens of offices that you can email or call and tell them that you would love on their next team meeting, that you would love to go over this presentation on how their real estate agents can make and save more money before the end of the tax year. Now, let's say I book 5 of those presentations. I book one with RE/MAX. I book one with Keller Williams. I book one with eXp Realty. I book one with mom and pop brokerage firm and another mom and pop brokerage firm, totaling well over access that's going to be watching this presentation when I go individually give it. It's going to be well over 150 real estate agents, captive audience watching me give value, watching me communicate to them how they can maximize their tax strategy before the end of the year, right? If I set up one meeting a week over the next 5 weeks, that's going to expose me to a captive audience where I have a proven way, a proven process to give value and to offer my services to them, what do you think your close rate would be on how many strategy sessions you can book? How many strategy sessions do you think we could book if we gave a live presentation to 5 different real estate brokerage teams totaling about 150 people? Go ahead, type your best guess. How many people, even if you weren't really that good at presentations or you were like shy, right? How many people do you think you could get to book a strategy session with you? Just take a guess, a realistic guess. It's 150 agents that you're exposing yourself to. How many people? Okay, somebody says minimum 50%. Andrew says 40. Jocelyn says 50. Ashley says at least 50. Latoya says 75. Just Positive says 50. That's 1 out of 3. She says 75. Absolutely. Zaja says 30. Yes. So here's the math. On live presentations that you are doing your webinar live and people are listening to you, you have a captive audience. On average, you have between a 20 and 30% close rate. That means 20 to 30% of the people that are on that live will book a call with you. So if we do the math on 150, that's 45 people, 45 business owners that you now have a free strategy session with. Now, I think I seen somebody said something about, I thought you don't do free, I thought you didn't suggest free assessments. This is a strategy session, right? So let's talk about that. There's a difference between, hey, let's hop on a phone call and let me walk through a proven way on how I can help you, right? I can't have, as an enrolled agent, as any tax professional, I can get on the phone with somebody for the first time and start going over strategy with them. And I'm just now, hearing them. I'm just now learning about their business. I don't have any substantiation. I haven't substantiated their bookkeeping. I haven't substantiated their tax returns. I haven't substantiated their source documents. I'm just listening to what they're telling me, which is definitely not what I teach. You never want to just have a phone call and have somebody tell you something and then you render tax advice. That's how you get yourself into liability, right? You don't want to do that. So what this strategy session is, it's a proven way where I'm saying, okay, let's hop on a telephone call. Let me walk through my proven process on how I'm going to ascertain all of the facts of your situation. And based upon those facts, now I can have a general idea of what strategies might be a good fit for you. And that's when you're going to make your offer. So we have free calls. Yes, I totally believe in having free strategy sessions. I personally have done over 1,000 calls, right? I don't do them anymore. I still do them sometimes. But in the beginning, yes, I was having 8 to 9 calls per day with new business owners. Now, we just said 30% of that 150, that's 45 strategy sessions, right? If you talk to 45 business owners now into the end of the year, how many of them do you think would become just a tax client? I'm not talking about bookkeeping. I'm not talking about tax planning. I'm just saying, how many of the 45 people that you actually spoke to would eventually pay you to file their taxes? Just type in chat. Go ahead and humor me. Type in chat. How many people would pay you to do their taxes? And mind you, these are business owners, right? We're talking to real estate agents who are scaling past 6 figures. So at minimum, you'll probably do a Schedule C. At maximum, you might help them incorporate with a S corp, or they might already be an S corp. So you potentially can be getting several S corp returns, right? So what are you guys saying? You guys are saying 25, 25, 25, 45, 15, 15, 30. Okay, beautiful. So the bare minimum of how many people you should be converting is 20%. 20% is the bare minimum. I have clients that are converting 50, 60, 70% of their strategy sessions on something. That means 50, 60, 70+% of the people that they talk to, they book them for something, right? Whether it's tax preparation, tax planning, bookkeeping, tax resolution, a one-off tax planning strategy, like an entity election from a Schedule C to an S Corp. But at bare minimum, you should close 20% of the clients that you talk to. So that's about 9 clients on the low end. 9 clients, if you're charging the way that you're supposed to be charging, if you are charging the way that you're supposed to be charging for a Schedule C, how much are you guys charging for that? For a Schedule C, we're not even going to talk about S Corp right now. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Just tell me, for a Schedule C, how much are you charging? They have miles. They might have the home office deduction as well. So take into consideration that this is not just a simplistic Schedule C like it is for, maybe somebody that does hair from home, right? This person gets in their car. They have, layers of different fees. They have depreciation that they might be taking, right? So Josh says 500. Just Positive says no less than 750. She says $300. I like that emoji. Zaja says 500. Ty says 550. Okay, beautiful. Listen, you should be no less than 500, but a sweet spot would be 750. 750 to 850 would be your sweet spot. Okay, 750 to 850 should be your sweet spot, but no less than $500 just for the Schedule C. I'm not even talking about any other additional forms that they might have. Remember, we charge based upon the complexity. So if we take $750, we times that by our minimum closed amount, you should make at minimum close to $7,000 in revenue. That's small, right? And I'm confident that if you keep repeating this strategy, you keep giving your presentation, tell them to book a strategy session, closing them on the service. That's not counting the people that is going to sign up for bookkeeping, right? They need to clean up. They haven't been keeping up with their books for 2023. That's not counting the tax planning sessions that you're going to eventually have because they're on a Schedule C, but they probably should be an S Corp based upon their net profits, right? That's not going to take into consideration any other tax planning strategies that you help them with. And then oftentimes, if you have a 6-figure or multi-6-figure business owner, they're generally into multiple streams of income. So that real estate agent might also be a real estate investor, right? That real estate agent might also have some sort of restaurant business or e-commerce business. Most real estate agents that I talk to, they're in multiple streams of revenue. And this is just an example for you guys. This is just one niche. Whatever I'm talking about with this niche is going to apply to any other niches that you could think about, right? You could run this same playbook with e-commerce. You could run this same playbook with real estate, with restaurants, right? You could run this same playbook with truck drivers. So if we even, rewind it back a bit, let's just say, what other niche could we go after? Maybe trucking, right? Let's talk about truck drivers. That's a really popular niche for tax and accounting professionals. How could I duplicate this same strategy that I just told you guys about, the webinar strategy? How could I duplicate this with a truck company or truck drivers? I want you guys to type in the chat because I want to see your creative juices flowing. I know it's late. It's only 7:25 where I'm at, but I know it's kind of late where you guys are at. But how could you run this same playbook with truck drivers and trucking companies? Go ahead. I'm gonna give you 10 more seconds to go ahead and type something in the chat. And then I'll let you know my strategy. So Ty says deduct mileage and expenses. Okay. Cora says, please say video got here late. Yes, Curl. I'll post it. I'll post it. Okay, so listen, I'm gonna let you guys know the play. The play is very similar. So you got to think about, okay, if you got this asset, you got this webinar asset, your whole goal is how do I get in front of as many people as possible before tax season, right? How do I get in front of as many of my idle clients before tax season? Okay, well, if I'm a trucker's accountant, right, and I do tax and accounting, what should I do? Who should I reach out to get in front of as many truck drivers as I possibly can? So I gave you guys the real estate agent play. I said we're going to go to all the brokerage firms because all the brokers, they do have team meetings. They have weekly team meetings, and they're always looking for outside experts to help their agents make and save more money. Why? Because if the agents do well, they do well as a broker. So they will gladly welcome you to come in and shed some information, have a presentation on how you can help or how the real estate agents can maximize their tax strategy before the end of 2023. But I want you guys to look at, even for truck drivers, how do we get in front of multiple truck drivers in the least amount of time? Kai says truckers have brokers too. Yes. So Kai, we can go to their brokers. We can go to their authority, right? Which is kind of like their brokers, but their authority, the actual parent company, if you will, the parent company that kind of contracts out to all of the independent owner operators. There are so many authority trucking companies in the United States. Again, start with your local radius, right? Start with 50 miles within your local radius. Google authority, right? I'm gonna Google it right now. Authority trucking companies, right? And then now I got so many trucking companies. So we're gonna put near me. Boom. I have so many. I have Authority Transport LLC. I have Midline Carriers, right? I have Road Transport Inc., Pacific National Transportation Corporation, Metro Division 18, CR England, Elite Drayage Carriers, Palos Verdes Peninsula Transit Authority. Listen, I have all the Global Auto Transportation in Glendale, Orange County Transportation Authority. I have all these authority owners. Not only that, we have associations, right? What trucking associations are out there? Let's see, trucking association in the United States. Let's see. We have the Western States Trucking Association. We have Arizona Trucking Association. We have the California Trucking Association. We have the American Trucking Association. We have the South Carolina Trucking Association, right? I just want you guys to get this point. The point is, I got an asset that I can communicate this presentation in front of anybody that's guaranteed to book me strategy sessions with my ideal client. So my only goal now is to hit up as many organizations, associations, many companies that have my ideal clients up underneath them, right? Brokers, authority providers, right? My whole goal is to say, hey, I want to come on for about 45 minutes and I want to show your trucking owner operators how they can maximize their tax strategy before the end of 2023. Again, you're talking to organizations that have a vested interest in their community. They want their truck drivers to be successful. They want them to make and save money, right? Why? Because they have a vested interest. If they are successful, the authority is successful. If they are successful, the association is successful. So this is how I can, in no time, find many different organizations who I can give my presentation to, who I can go out and get in front of, right? in addition to social media, right? Posting on social media, in addition to going into Facebook groups or using the hashtag to find them on TikTok or Instagram. Listen, it doesn't matter. The whole point is you have an asset now. You have an asset that communicates value. You have an asset that positions you as an expert. You have an asset that allows you to make a beautiful offer for something free, right? Which is a low threshold to cross that entices people to want to book a call. So this is the playbook that I want to teach you guys, right? I taught you guys how to show up on video. I taught you guys how to slide in the DMs, right? Now I need to teach you, how do you create this asset? How do you position yourself as an authority figure, right? How do you have a clean presentation that you can take and rinse and repeat throughout the year? Also, you can take this same presentation and speak at conferences. You can speak at associations. You can use the same asset to get on somebody's stage in 2024 and speak. So this is what we're going to talk about. I'm going to be on here talking more about it. But if you want to get signed up for this full-blown training on webinar creation masterclass is what I'm doing on how do you create this asset. We're going to create it together, you and me on a Zoom call. Us together, we're going to walk through the psychology behind it. We're going to walk through the creation of how you put this together for your business, for your niche, right? For your tax and accounting services, for the offer that you want to sell, right? We're going to walk through this together on November 6th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to get signed up, go ahead and click the link in my bio so you can check it out and get signed up for this training. All right. So what questions do you guys have? Let's go through and see if I missed any questions. And yeah, I'll be back on here to talk more about this. Shia says, I was planning to go to the police station and talk with my coworker. Listen, okay, so are police officers your niche? If police officers is your niche, that's beautiful, because there are captive audiences at every station, and depending on where you live, like even in the Metro Detroit area, even in Detroit, there's dozens of police stations, right? Even in Detroit, there's dozens of police stations. You can also, I would say, also parlay that into other service professionals. So you might want to do the same with teachers, and you might want to do the same with firefighters, for example, right? Insurance agents, that's beautiful. Why is that beautiful, Kai? Because you can go to these brokerage firms and you can say, hey, I specialize in helping insurance agents pay the least amount of taxes with tax strategy before the end of 2023 for the next tax year. I would love to give a free presentation to your team. You can go to State Farm with that pitch, right? Every independent State Farm office has anywhere between 5 and 15 agents in their office. What other independent insurance agents are there, right? There's so many independent ones. Let's see, independent insurance agency. Let's see what other brands are out there. You got what's this? Fiesta Auto Insurance, right? They have over 100 locations. You have Cali's Auto Insurance. I'm just looking in California right now, but you guys have your own independent insurance brokers, right? It's dozens of them. Just within a 20-mile radius, I see over 25 branches just within a 25 radius of where I live. So imagine you go to each one, you email each one, and you say, hey, I would love to give a free presentation at your next team meeting on how your agents can make and save or pay the least amount of taxes before the end of 2023. Can we get you booked on our calendar? And you might want to include a calendar link where they can book and have like a call to discuss more about it, right? So you can understand like how many agents they have in their office. Don't mess around and get an agency like Primerica, like an independent, like, an independent Primerica office that has 200 agents, 100 agents, 300 agents. And now you got everybody on a Zoom going through this presentation, right? Like doing the work, you get lucky. That's when luck happens. The more you put yourself out there, you stumble upon and book a webinar for 500 agents, right, on a Zoom call. And now you're walking through your presentation and now you close 30% of them. How much is that, right? Somebody type in chat for me. 150, 150. Someone says, are you going to do another EA class? I just found you last week. Oh, nice. Yeah, we're about to finish the EA class that we are doing live right now. And the next EA class probably won't be until 2024, the live one, right? So you could still, of course, get the pre-recorded training materials, but I probably won't do another live class until next year. So make sure you stay tapped in. Welcome to the fam. Kai says daycare centers. Yes, and they have agencies, state and local. Yes. Hey, Terica, she said, I had my first speaking engagement. It was so bomb. Literally had a few folks wanting to do business from it. Congratulations, Terica. Yes. Yes. Ideal says, will this be inside certifiable courses if we pay? Oh, the monthly membership. So this particular class, no, it's not on a monthly membership. This is not on the monthly membership. Encouraging says, can you repeat that one more time? The pitch. Oh, which pitch? Because listen, I've been pitching all over the place with tonight's session. Which pitch are you talking about? Are you talking about how do you get the client to book your presentation, right? To book your webinar? That pitch is, you're going to send them an email, or you can be bold and you can call, right? You're going to send them an email. You're going to say, hey, Jeremy, I see that you are the owner of Remax Platinum, and I really admire your work in the area. It looks like you guys are crushing it. Listen, my name is Krista Tyus. I'm an enrolled agent by the Internal Revenue Service, and I specialize in helping real estate agents pay the least amount of taxes. And I wanted to see if you're interested in having me come on and give a free presentation to your team on how they can lower their tax liability before the end of 2023. If you're interested in this, go ahead and click a quick coffee chat. I would love to discuss this further. Send that out, customize that message, and send that message out to 5, 10, 15, 20. Listen, I will send this out to as many people as possible. And I'm going to get on with my webinar. That's a proven process that I'm going to help you create in this training session and sell your services, but most importantly, give value. Right? You will be giving value. Yes. Only says, what if your audience is cold? Should you still push a webinar or build up your audience? Listen, only Misha, I'm talking about cold audience. This is the whole point. We are reaching out to cold groups. And if you just joined, you might have missed the beginning of this. I'm going to post this replay to my page, either on YouTube or Instagram, or actually it's going to be on both because I'm recording on both. But go back and watch the beginning of this because I'm strictly talking about cold audiences. But that's how powerful a webinar is, because you got to think about, and we're going to talk more about this in the training, this is a 1 to 2 hour asset. Imagine you talk to somebody for 1 to 2 hours. Your level of know, like, and trust is through the roof. You feel like you know them, you like them, you trust them. So this is why the webinar is such a beautiful marketing piece to target to cold audiences, target to people who don't know you, are being introduced to you for the first time. Terica says, what happens if you get an influx of folks wanting to do business, but you're not prepared to handle the volume? Don't kill me. I probably already know your answer. Listen, Terica, that's a good problem to have, my dear. That is a beautiful problem to have. So let's collaborate on this. What would you do to make sure that you are prepared to handle the volume? Type in chat, what are some strategies that you guys would do to make sure that you're prepared to handle the volume? Well, one, here's what I would say. You are going to block out your calendar, right? I use Calendly. So people that want to book a call with me, I'm going to actually have them click the link and they're going to see my calendar on the days that I specify that I'm available. Okay. So I'm using Calendly. Within Calendly, I specify the days that I want to have calls and the times that I want to have calls, right? I even specify how soon people can book a call with me, right? It used to be people could book a call like 4 hours before the call. I think that's like the default. Oh, that's terrible because you don't want, to be out and about and then somebody booked a call with you and it's happening in 4 hours. And now you're trying to scramble to get back home. You might be out running errands or whatever the case may be. So what I say, hook up your calendar to your preferences, right? Make sure you have a 24-hour lead time, meaning nobody can book a call if it's not at least 24 hours before the call is booked, right? Make sure that you have your calendar blocked out where you're saying, hey, here are the days and times that I'm going to commit to having strategy sessions, right? I'm going to commit to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, right? Or I'm going to have strategy sessions from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on these days, or I might open up a late time zone, depending, obviously you're going to be targeting people from all over the country eventually. So maybe you do, you have a morning session, right? On Mondays and Wednesdays, and you have your late sessions on Fridays and Saturdays, for example. I'm just giving you some tips on how you can control the demand, right? So this is numero uno. This is how you control your demand. Now, as you are getting clients, as you are growing and scaling, then yes, I do implore you guys to start to hire a sales agent. This is what is going to be called an inbound sales agent. This person's only job is to look at the calendar and call the people that booked a strategy session. Okay, this is going to be your inbound sales agent, but you don't have to start there. You yourself need to get great at selling your own services. You need to get great at communicating the value for your own tax and accounting services. And then once you do that and you get really great at doing that, now you have the skills, the knowledge, the wisdom on how you can train somebody else to do it. Because remember, you can outsource this, but if you don't know how to sell your products, how are you going to teach them how to sell it, right? If you don't know the value proposition for your own services, how are you going to teach somebody else to do it? So I would say, do it yourself until you can't do it anymore, and then go ahead and transition to a sales agent. Also, Terica, this limited availability, it entices people to actually book a call. Because you're going to be legit with them. You're going to be like, listen, I only have, it's 50 people on this call tonight. I only have 10 slots available over the next 14 days. So that's how you're going to get your demand up, right? People are going to be clamoring to get a strategy session with you because it's limited right now. So I would say, don't worry about trying to accommodate everybody. Listen, be limited, be exclusive in the beginning. Let people start emailing you like, can I get I need a call. I love your presentation. Your Calendly link is booked. I don't see any more time slots available. I need to talk to you. You want to build up that type of demand to increase your conversions. But great question. Great question. Oh, Jimmy bought a bat. I think this is Jimmy. It says I think it says Jimmy bought a badge. Thank you, Jimmy. Yes, I see it now. Jimmy bought a badge. Thank you so much, Jimmy. I really appreciate that. Thank you. All right, what other questions do we have? What tax training do you recommend for first year professionals? Well, I recommend that you get proficient with individual tax law and also learn business tax law. So, for example, I have a business tax preparation training that's happening next month in Atlanta. Or if you can't come to Atlanta, you can get the virtual option and you can join Zoom. But this is going to be a tax preparation class, right? You're going to learn the law just to kind of even the playing field, make sure that you understand that. But you're going to have various complex tax clients, right? Mock clients that you're going to have to prepare taxes for in this class. And then we're going to discuss your results and discuss how your return should look, right? How should you have, calculated depreciation, how you should have calculated, business sale of assets, how you should have, calculated their net operating loss for the year. Like, we're going to actually go through the results together to make sure that you understand how do you prepare complex tax returns. And then in December, we have our individual tax preparation class. So this is, again, giving you multiple scenarios on preparing taxes, but also learning the law, but getting that practice in. So you're going to go into your tax software, you're going to prepare these mock returns, and we're going to do all this live. And we're going to discuss the results of your tax return and why it is the way it is. So I would encourage you to go to Certifiable and check out, it's under Certified Pro Trainings, the tab Certified Pro Trainings that you can sign up for. Yeah. Someone says, will your coaching program be suitable for someone who doesn't want to show their body and voice online? I prefer to market without doing that. Okay, I feel you. So the only way to do that is if you have a business partner or if you pay somebody to do it for you. I do know there are people that partner together where one person is kind of like the marketer, right? They do all of the live videos, they do the outreach, they do the webinars, and then you have the other person, they're the brains, right? They're really good at doing the work, setting up the back end structure, doing the operations, the admin, the customer support, all of that. So I would say maybe look to partner with somebody, and or you will have to hire somebody to do this, because it does require you to get on video, right? It does require you to speak, right? So you would need a really good microphone. I recommend just going to Amazon. You can buy a really good microphone on Amazon for like $80 and go ahead and do your marketing. But if you don't want to do that, you're just going to have to get somebody who is going to do it for you. That's all. Ashy Boo bought a badge. Thank you, Ashy. Thank you so much. Shout out to you. Evolve says, thank you so much, Krista, for your coaching. Life-changing for me. Couldn't be more grateful to God, universe, for guidance to you. Thank you so much, Evolve, Tax and Accounting. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Jimmy says, you're welcome. Thank you. Yes, Evolve. Let's go. Ashley says she got hers in Houston. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, listen, click the link in my bio if you want to go ahead and just get registered now for the class. And so I'll be coming on over the next, 1.5 weeks until the live class starts, the live training starts, talking more about this and answering any of your questions. So go ahead and think about, like, what questions do you have? And when you think about your question, a way that you can actually think about, well, what questions should I ask her? Think about, what are your limiting beliefs around doing the thing, right? So you guys were already saying, well, okay, what if I don't like getting on camera? What if I don't like talking? What if, the audience is cold? Like, I want you guys to think about what other additional, maybe limiting beliefs you might have, or things that you might feel it might not work for you. I want to be able to answer all of these questions for you as I'm getting on these lives every single day. Yes, it does. Yes. Take 9. They were asking, so this is going to rely a person showing themselves online. Yes, it will rely on that. And you're going to not only showing yourself online, but remember, we're going to be reaching out to companies and associations and business leagues and business memberships, like any type of body of organization that has your ideal client. You are going to be reaching out to them to do your webinar presentation. So not only would you be doing it online, but I encourage all of you to do these in person as well, because you're first going to start within your first 50-mile radius from where you live at. Yeah. All right, guys. I love you. I'll see you later. Bye, guys. All right. And I'll see you YouTube later. Bye.